some pills they have to take for managing the height to avoid as a precaution. We go Dimax for, yes, it's there's a lot to be done. Yes,
a lot of procedures
because
you have gone through.
It's a mindset. It's if the mindset. If it's targeted to something, then you'll achieve it. Otherwise, if your mindset is not there, you could lose. The risk is you could lose the track of life.
Yeah, very risky.
Yes.
I believe that planning for such a trip for the first time totally differs from planning for the same trip for the second or third time, right? What about planning for it for the first time, Mr. Dhari?
Well, it's an interesting question because planning starts by realizing that you're there. So planning in the mind has a lot to do with it. So I started by seeing myself during my journey. I started by seeing myself reaching the summit. From there, I realized what physical equipment I had to take, and I had a lot of learnings from Fouad here, from the net as well. And then there are a lot of mental preparation for that. Yes. I spoke with a lot of, let's say, people who climbed the mountains before, and they said just be prepared mentally, because mind power is so powerful over yourself that it really helps you throughout your journey, throughout your weakest, let's say, times. As Fouad says, it will be a very difficult journey in terms of height, weather condition, low level of oxygen. So the physical preparation is there as well. I had to, similar program that Fouad did. I'm in my 4th week right now. We have 2 more weeks to the trip. So training. But not only that, taking such a task, such a thing, requires preparing the family as well.
Right.
So
very important point.
Definitely, they're a very important point. And I mean, similarly to me taking care of myself, I have to make sure that they are okay with me taking this adventure. And it's been
supporting you or not?
It's been great. It's been great. And with this, really, I thank my wife. That's been just really supporting me and helping me. And if I can tell her something now, I'll say, don't worry.
Please.
The people of Kuwait are praying for me, and I want to say happy birthday to her. It's her birthday today.
Oh, so happy birthday to your wife also.
So again, being prepared is very important. As you say, it's a journey into somewhere that's really hard, let's say, environment, and you're alone. So you're alone in a sense of resources. You have what you can take with your colleagues, with your let's say trainers there, but then you take still no resources. I mean, even as detailed as batteries, you have to count how many batteries do you need, how many chargers do you need. So all that needs.
You're thinking all the time, and even in the tiny issues that may face you there, you have to be focused on the goal.
Yes, but there's a very important point. Is that enjoying the moment, enjoying every moment in this trip. I mean, even the preparation is a joy by itself. So thinking about the things that we have to take, thinking about where we're going to sleep, about our sleeping bag, about that is fun, I should say. So I think the secret for success to such trips is really having that mindset, seeing the peak, and then the journey will just...
This is the key.
This is the key. This is the key. Just enjoy it. And make sure you're with the right people.
With the right people. This is the most important. In my opinion, this is the most important. Like you have trainers, you have your friends, you have a crew, but still, if you didn't choose them right, it will be a big problem for you.
Definitely, yes.
Exactly. Mr. Fouad, you told me that your team was consisting of 42 persons?
Yeah, that in the
preparations.
No. In terms of the development of the task, we were thinking of what we see Kuwait and Europe. But my team actually for Everest,
for the Everest,
it was me and the guide.
Okay, on you too?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was me and because we tried to convince my team to come in with each other but then as I said, there was some resistance, I don't know what to say, but it inspired. Really, it just want to inspire guys, we need to do something different. We need to do something really that it is magnificent, which seeing Kuwait and that and the presenting the symbol that we want, we agreed upon.
We have here on the screen also some pictures, I guess, from the trip. I guess, equipment preparations. If you can comment on these.
Yeah, this is when the next day after I raised the flag, and this is where I left Mountain Everest.
When you finished?
Yeah, this is where I took the helicopter coming back home.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Finally.
These are sunrise with something really magnificent view. Yeah. The nature is amazing, really, and there are the people there just survivors, just want to live, traveling days just to get their food, the basics.
Yeah, but they used to do that. I mean, this is their life already, right?
And this is it triggered the history of Kuwait before oil.
Before, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's again excellent views. Yeah. It's just you need. Again, one of the mindset that I succeeded is making peace with nature and just enjoy the moment, not to rush. Yeah. And that's what I think, thanks God, and that made this trip really enjoyable for myself, for my team, that we achieved what we had, which having the Kuwait flag on the mountain. Yeah. And for I would agree that with my brother Dhari, that the family support that made it happen, because disconnect with them with this, it's really hard.
Right,
it's really hard.
Very hard for you.
So their support and praise was part of the achievement.
Mr. Dhari, what about now you are in your fourth week of training?
Yes.
Still you have 2 more, and then you're going to start the trip directly, right? Yes. What about the vaccinations, the pills that Mr. Fouad told us about?
Definitely, that preparation had to be taken as well. I consulted my doctors, and I had all the vaccinations necessary. There were 6 vaccinations, so they couldn't give me all in one day. Okay. So first there was the medical checkup. They had to make sure I was capable of taking those vaccinations. Right. And then there was one day for 3, and then the other day for the other 3.
Oh my God.
And
too many injections.
So it's all really, it had to be planned. And you cannot take the vaccinations like 2 days before you go. It had to be, for example, 2 to 3 weeks for the effect to be effective there. And in addition to the vaccinations, also the necessary medications you have to take. I mean, a simple thing like a headache can be a disaster if you don't have the right.
Have headache there because of the height, pressure, everything.
Exactly right. Exactly right. The nutrition as well, the supplements. You know, I mean, although we are doing this exercise and training, still, for example, our joints need to have some supplements to be, working properly there.
Yeah, flexible.
So
exactly. Right. So what about the, I know we have talked about the preparations, the equipment. What about the weather there? How could you face or endure all this cold there? I mean, we're here in our homes, and when the temperature reaches 8 or 7, we are just freezing. What about there in this height, in this harsh weather? How did you deal with that?
Going back to the gear, because you're addressing some really a critical factor of making this trip a success. Keeping yourself warm. The type of the gear we have is to withstand those temperatures. For example, at night it reaches like -15.
Wow.
So what I was wearing like 4 layers of it's really thin, but it's the temperature resistance is we're talking about very high. And during the day, we started in the morning, 3 layers. Then during the day, you go with 2 layers. But the temperature goes from -5 up to 5. But it's really very important. I'm telling Dhari, it's very important for the success that you achieve your goal. You need to keep your warm or your body warm. It's not saying I can beat that weather. No,
No,
it's
no
the
one
other
can
way
actually.
around.
No one.
It's really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tough. During the day, we do like 6-7 hours walking, and some hiking we do. But when we arrived to the guest house around 4 p.m., they keep eventually. We are I'm exhausted.
Of
So
course.
they keep us. My guy insists to keep me awake till 7-8
Oh.
p.m. so that when I get totally exhausted, then I
yeah.
go to bed, because being awake at night, it's hazard by itself.
Ah, okay.
It's the air that you could easily damage your lungs.
Yeah. This
so
is because of the height or the weather?
the weather, because
weather.
oxygen first,
Okay.
the weather, cold weather. If you're talking about a warm body confronted with -10, -15, chill, freezing air,
Yeah.
it's really
It's damaging
It's
the
damaging.
lungs,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. It is.
Right.
So yeah, the funny thing is, even you're talking about for washing, cleaning, the water is freezing, so you have to break it.
How
and
could you do that?
Yeah, you have to break the.
Yeah.
So
break the ice and then use it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
While preparing and consulting people, and especially people who have gone through this experiment before, did you watch the movies that talked about this one? Because I've seen so many movies, and I couldn't believe that. Are they real? Like,
Yeah, so I avoided watching the movie Everest.
you avoided.
I avoided.
Why?
But last weekend I did.
You couldn't
So
resist.
after preparation for 3 weeks
Yeah.
and seeing all the equipment and getting most of the equipment, I said, I want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So when I watched this movie, I realized that the equipment I'm getting is for a real reason, right? I
Okay.
really need to get that.
Now you know why.
Now I know why. But then I wasn't discouraged by the movie. It just proved to me that it's something I really want to do. I really want to do. I mean, how often do you get a chance to do such a thing?
Yeah.
You know, and just try. God knows if you're going to reach the summit or not. Depends on the weather. Depends on so many factors.
Right.
But just the fact that you take those steps is really, I think, special.
Yeah.
You know?
So when I asked you about the movies, I didn't think that watching this movie would discourage you. I thought the opposite totally. Maybe because I know you will see how the actors in the movie will have so many difficult situations and everything.
Yes.
But when you jump to the last scene of the movie, I think this is your motive. I mean, this is your goal. I want to feel the same as this actor.
Yes.
Didn't you get this feeling ever?
Yes, I did, definitely. I think one of the most important motivations
Yeah.
that I have is seeing the summit,
Yeah.
seeing myself in the
Achieving
summit.
your goal. by
Achieving the
end.
goal. So when you see it, when you be there, that really helps you throughout your journey.
Yeah.
I mean, and I said it's like take it step by step as it goes,
Yeah.
1 foot at a time. You know, as they say,
Right.
that's the only
Don't
way
rush.
you can. Don't rush.
Yeah.
No. I had an interesting conversation with Sayyid Rifai. Zaid Rifai.
Zaid Rifai, yeah.
And he's climbed Everest as well.
Yeah.
And he advised me that the mountain will always be there. Don't rush.
Yeah.
Take your
right.
time. Enjoy it.
Don't push on yourself.
Don't push it. You know, it's all in your mind. And that advice really stuck to my head. And that will help me.
To take your
Got it.
time and
Exactly.
every step takes it a certain time. Don't push and yeah.
Exactly right. Yes.
So this is where we get good advices from people.
Yes. Yes.
What about the time? I mean, such a trip it requires like I think weeks
Yes.
or more than this. Tell me about that.
It took me 14 days.
Okay.
Of which the first day was just to take the organizer and getting the permits and get me acquainted what I'm expecting,
Okay.
signing some papers, and then the next day we flew from Kathmandu, which is the capital of Nepal, to Lukla. It's an airport in the mountain.
Airport in the mountain.
Yeah, it's a funny thing that Dhari sent me a picture saying big question mark. It's like what is it, like 400 meters the runway?
Oh.
Very short.
Very short one.
Very short one. by seeing that.
This is not a good sign.
It's actually one of the most dangerous airports in the world. It sits on top of the mountain, on the mountain cliff.
Oh.
So reaching there, you had to be with the small planes with the propellers.
Yeah.
So large planes can't get there.
Of course.
And it's so the whole thing is just a big
big question mark.
Big
What are we
adventure.
going to do there?
Yes. So from there, I arrived, and immediately, as soon as I arrived, I had a coffee. I remember that, and then we started walking, tracking for almost 12 and a half day.
12 and a half days.
Yes, daily 7 to 6 hours. Going different altitudes, which is talking about up, down, and an average a day that we need to, the level of height we need to do 300 meters, but actually we were doing every day around 7 to 1,000.
Wow.
And coming down. It's just to acclimatize, meaning adjusting the pressure in the body, because one of the risks that a person could lose his life if someone goes straight up and just keep going. So working with those guys, which is certified, that's what makes it really getting the lessons that I had to protect the trackers. So it took around 12 days.
12 days.
Yeah, and as Dhari said, is always having in mind, I will see the mountain. I will see the mountain.
Yeah.
But in the surrounding, I was enjoying the scenery there.
Course, Mr. Dhari, what about the official preparations for such a trip? I mean, you needed some signs from or permissions, I guess. What about this?
As part of the preparation in Nepal, part of the guides there, they have to get to us the permits for us to do this journey. So we provided them all our official documents before with the certification of the vaccinations and everything like that, and then they issued for us the permits. It's a very controlled, let's say, tourism activity that they have there in Nepal, and they want to make sure that it's done properly. Certification is the whole process is certified, and to be honest, that's something very important for us. Is safety is number one. I mean, yes, we want to do this adventure. Yes, it has its risks. But then we recognize that we will only do things if they are safe, and we know we are sure that we know what we're getting into. So that was very, very important that time.
During your trip, what about the difficult situations that you faced?
I would say the number one was couldn't sleep at night. And was hearing the sound of the freezing winds. And by the way, also the electricity, there is nothing there. So it's mainly, there was, you're talking about solar. Solar, usually it's run the unit or the gas out during the day, but when there is no sun, there is no light. So it's live in a darkness, I would say. So that's another.
In addition to the weather and the pressure, also dark.
Wow. So and you need another one, which is I would say is keeping warm as much I can, because if I, the praying, I need to go 5 times. I have to do it. I have to play with the freezing water. So that's by itself is another risky way that you having minus temperature and easily in your body. So and even the guide said, Fouad, is there something alternative that rather you playing with the water? I said no. No, I have to. But thanks God, it helped the situation, and I was safe, I would say.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Why preparing yourself to such a very important trip? You said something that's really interesting. You have to prepare your mind first. Did you prepare your mind for the risky situations that you may face there? By doing what?
Yes, well, by understanding the risk. In any risky situation, I mean, you have to really be open to any risk that could happen.
Yeah.
So identifying the risks that may be faced, and then making sure that those risks are controlled. So, for example, the weather. We realize that one of the main risks that we have is the extreme cold weather. It could get to minus 20 with the wind. With the wind blowing, it could get even lower than that. So we have to be prepared as our gear, and we had to have a backup for that gear. So if things got worse, let's say we're ready for that situation.
Yeah.
The altitude itself, I mean, being in a high altitude with less oxygen, we know that has effect on your lungs, on your ability to move as well.
Right.
So in our preparation, we make sure we take training that is specialized for endurance building. Endurance means your heart can hold the high beating, and then it goes down quite quickly. So that all it takes into consideration while preparing for such a thing.
Right.
People ask me sometimes, how about fierce animals? Are there any wild animals there or not? So I ask you, Fouad, are there any wild animals?
You could see them.
Before.
You need, once you see them, they like yak with a big weapon on their head, I would say.
Oh, it's
so
right.
it
is.
So yes, when we see them, we have to take them aside, keep away till they pass away.
Okay.
There is nothing that you could risk it and be close to them.
Yeah.
Easily they
this
could.
This is the only.
Yeah, and there is
animal.
other type of animal, like you could see the gazelles and wild goats. You could see from now and then. Yeah. But I don't know, this trip with a lot of snow, how successful it will be. But I wish Dhari will see something.
No, I'm not looking forward to seeing dangerous animals, but I'm looking forward to seeing animals.
About the clothes that you told us about, it should be like from 6 layers or something like that?
Four to five layers.
Because the most important thing is to keep yourself warm.
Correct,
right?
yes.
What about these clothes? How, where can you get it from before going there? I guess we have also some pictures for these. In a while we're going to witness these. But where can people get these clothes from?
For example, in Kuwait there is a few shops. I would say there is one Tilal, the zone. What is it called? Explorer Base.
Okay.
There is one which is we call it the North Face, and this is what. And there is another shop in Avenues, I would say.
Okay.
But again, not the full gear. The full gear I got it in.
Like we have here some
this is a slimming bag,
these.
which is minus 35.
Okay.
And these are the different types of jackets, thermal.
They are thin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could easily find them in Dubai, and that's what had the pleasure. Me and Dhari, we went to Dubai for a weekend, and we bought most of the stuff from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, normal clothes never will do the purpose. Thinking it is for such kind. No, these for such adventures, you need to have the right gear from the certified shops.
Yeah. From the certified shops. So you have these like overalls, you have gloves.
Yes. Yeah.
What else?
And
sleeping bags.
Yeah. You have lights. You need to have. You have the stickers. You have the tank, water tank.
Okay.
Because as I said, you're moving a lot. There is not much. It's not the towns. So you're talking. You're nowhere. So you need to take precautions of water.
Right.
Because these are towers, for example, very thin, effective towers. There is like adapters, as my friend Dhari have said. You need to get batteries for your phone and spare batteries. I had 3 chargers actually. And because as I said, as you go up, there is lack of electricity. So you need to set up all the backups, even not just 1, 2 to 3. To make sure, because this trip where we're going is a disconnect, a different route that we're going to the base, which is the Everest. We're going to another mountain.
So these are the equipments or
Yeah.
the appropriate clothes that
Yeah.
you have to take
Yeah.
with us. I guess you have to take a very close look at these.
Yes.
I believe that you have before.
Definitely, yes,
Of course,
yes.
yeah,
We've
preparing yourself.
gone through this preparation
Yeah, of course.
as well, and the clothes they go into basically two levels.
Okay.
The lower height
Mhm.
clothes, which are lighter in nature, so we only wear, for example, 3 layers. But there's special clothes for the higher elevation,
Okay.
where the weather is colder, where we need to be more equipped, where especially the outer layer, outer
Mhm.
shell, which
Yeah.
had to be windproof.
Okay.
So to stop the penetration of the wind, because
Yes.
that's really hurt.
Really
I mean, it's really damaging when that
Yeah.
cold weather comes in. So even for the summit, we
Mhm.
have special clothes for that day.
Because I guess this is the most cold. This is the
Yes.
coldest place.
Yes,
It's the highest one.
exactly,
Right.
because it will be snowy there.
Mhm.
So the snow would be knee high,
Mhm.
hopefully lower. So even our boots have to be covered with a protection.
Okay.
So the snow doesn't get into our
Yeah,
clothes.
because I heard about this one. It's very difficult. You have to keep your feet very warm,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
yes.
There, yeah.
So we wear 2 socks,
Mhm.
a special, really thick
Special
socks.
fabrics,
The
yeah.
the boots are water resistant, wind resistant, and they're really tight.
Mhm.
And then the 3 layers of pants
Mhm.
to make sure that it's warm, and then 4 or 5 layers on the top,
Yeah.
plus the head, plus the 2 gloves, 2 sets of gloves as
Two
well,
sets of gloves.
Yeah.
just to make sure that
At least.
at least,
Yeah.
yeah. And on top of that, you're carrying your bag.
Oh.
So
This is
you're
very
carrying
difficult.
some weight.
Right.
You're wearing a lot of
The
clothes.
clothes themselves are very heavy.
Yes, and then you're carrying the bag, and then you're climbing in this
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. I should say.
Hopefully it will be
Hopefully
fun.
it's really
Yeah.
fun.
Inshallah. Mr. Fouad, you said that you had this trip in 12 and a half days.
Yes.
It means that you have divided the place into steps or
Okay.
yeah, tell me about that.
Based on the guide and the plan